Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress with Pixie Dust Tarot, and this is your daily dust for Saturday, July 8th. Actually, I have now renamed my channel back to Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust, which it kind of always was, but I was abbreviating it just to make it simpler. But really, that's what I'm all about, Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust, which to me is kind of a really fun way of looking at the law of attraction and manifesting using Peter Pan and his terminology, because really all it takes is a wonderful thought, right? Any kind of thought that makes you happy and uplifted, and you have to trust that this thought that you're attracting it will bring you into a situation where you are receiving abundance. And then the pixie dust is just kind of that sprinkle of magic to really make it happen, you know. So I'm here to help you with that. Sometimes things don't always go as planned, but I feel like in most every situation, there's some kind of silver lining. There's some kind of learning process, lesson, and ultimately, you're still on your way to your goals. So this month, I'm doing a series on romantic decks and love decks, and this is the Gentle Heart Tarot by Vanessa Samina, and it's very sweet. So let's use this deck for today. And for whenever you stumble upon this video, it doesn't have to be for this specific July 8th. I'm going to shuffle real good. Coming up soon, I'll be doing some fun giveaways and things, getting closer to my channel anniversary. I'm doing a 3-card collective message. Maybe I can shuffle a little bit smoother. There we go. Okay. This beautiful rose gold edge. Let's see what we got. We have the Hermit. And the Devil. And the Two of Swords. Okay, let's zoom on in and see what we get. Sometimes I see the devil as temptations, indulgences, maybe dealing with too much material, and sometimes the devil represents shadow's side. So this is a very interesting combination of things. We have the Hermit, who is kind of about retreating and going into kind of a spiritual situation, meditation, kind of seeking clarity, learning more about yourself. And then the devil is tapping into that shadow side of yourself and realizing, you know, facing your fears, facing the things that you don't always like about yourself. And this Two of Swords represents your mind and looking at both sides of things. Sometimes it's a little bit too much vacillation, you know, going back and forth in your head. And it's important to not just stay in your head, but go outside of your head into a spiritual place. The blindfold, though, is a good indicator of reaching beyond your physical senses and tapping into your intuition and higher energy. The fact that we have the Hermit and the Devil, which are both major arcana cards, represents strong outside energy, like angelic, and higher energy, like your higher self and higher purpose kind of energy for today maybe. But it could be just simply a day where you have to face some kind of fear, and maybe you have to retreat a little bit in order to deal with this. You may be stuck in your head just a little bit, but maybe it comes full circle again. Then you're back into your enlightenment again. So the Hermit is just kind of, you know, like relaxing, chilling, comfortable clothes, quality time with yourself, especially when you've had a lot of hectic stuff happen, or maybe a lot of high activity. Now's the time to kind of balance that, which is sort of what the devil represents sometimes too. When you do too much in one direction, you have to now balance it out. If you've been too material, say, now it's time to balance it with some spiritualism. If you've eaten too much, maybe now it's time to do either a little fasting or some juicing or something like that to help balance your system out. So it's kind of coming back into balance, I think. Also, the Hermit is a guide, and he is wisdom and inner balance, like I was saying, and he's urging you to take time for self-reflection. And I feel like even if you feel like you're a busy person, you're allowed to have the downtime, just like kids have recess. I think you need to incorporate like recess in your life, you know, a downtime, a time of day where you can just chill. And sometimes you might need even solitude away from people, because people can be a little bit overwhelming at times. So it might be important to just slow down, stay away from the outer world for a little while, go inward, and then, you know, then you'll be ready to face the world again. But every once in a while you need this kind of reflection, solitude, contemplation, and to be able to find your inner peace. I feel like some people don't always enjoy being alone with themselves, because then they have to face maybe their demons, you know, they may have to face the things that they don't want to face. But I feel like it's important. And the thing about facing your fears, they always seem worse before you face them. Like, just, you know, they seem like a mountain, and then when you look at it, it dissipates a little. It looks a little bit less scary than it really is. There's a really interesting movie that I watched once about this little boy who had a dream, who couldn't sleep at night, and he was dreaming of like a dragon or monster or something like that. And a friend, I don't know who this guy was, he was also like a sleep patient, went into the dream with the little boy and helped him conquer his fears, which that's kind of what dreams like that represent, you know. It's like something you're afraid of, but it was kind of like metaphorical, and it was a story where this little boy conquered their fears. So it could be something like that, you know. It could be, and there's like things that you deal with every day, you know. Maybe you had a holiday, you're looking back at your photos of the holiday, and you're like, oh my gosh, look at me, look at my hair, look at this, look at that. You're picking apart stuff about yourself. And most people wouldn't even notice these things. Most people say, wow, the first thing I noticed when I saw that picture of you is how beautiful you are, or how sweet and charming you are. Just, it's a memory of it's a photo of a memory that was so beautiful. Like, that's what I remember about. That's what this photo conjures up. I don't see the things that you see. So we sometimes are way harder on ourselves, you know. So be aware that you can be more hard on yourself than you need to be. And then there's times where there's things that you may not admit about yourself, and those things also are important to face. So shadow work could be something that you might like to try. It can be a little bit scary, but don't worry about it. Don't fear it, because it will help you kind of know where you are the places you need to work, you know, work on. So sometimes, like self-image, like if you have a problem with your appearance or whatever, the solution is not always like, you know, plastic surgery or going on a fasting diet or something like that. Sometimes, I mean, there are some things that are good about, you know, eating. Of course, eating right is good, but diet in that sense, in a fad way, you know, just to lose a lot of weight fast or something like that, is not necessarily a good thing. So part of what you need to do is be content with who you are as you are, and then take on those kinds of challenges, you know, to better your. But it really, you know, it really depends on every individual. But if you feel like you need better health in some way, physical, mental, or otherwise, then that's how you have to kind of love yourself just the way you are, and then you work on the little things that need to be fine-tuned. But nobody's perfect. We all have our issues, ups and downs, and things like that. So be aware I feel like eventually you'll break free from anything that's holding you back from achieving some of your goals, or a vision of yourself, vision of your good health, vision of what you want for your life too, and as far as you know, life path and things like that too. You know, there could be things that are holding you back. Maybe it's all in your mind too, because if it's in your mind and you're going back and forth in your mind and you're not finding any solutions, it probably is important to just step out of your mind, because no amount of time spent waiting for a sign is going to provide you with an answer. This is like this is kind of also being kind of like at crossroads when you're seeing two directions, and just standing there it's like you have a choice, but just standing there is not a good choice. Just standing, sometimes it is, right? You need a little downtime, but then there comes a time where you have to make a choice which way to go, and there is no right or wrong way. You just have to choose a path generally, and sometimes we can be stuck so long in the decision which path to take that there's too much inactivity. Just depends on who you are. Some of you, like, your solution to everything is go, 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 do, and sometimes without thinking it through enough. And then others is like thinking things through too much and not even taking action. So just again, with the devil here, it's about that balance. It's about knowing when it's time to take action and when it's time to just lay back and receive, or when it's time to dream or think or reevaluate, or or go into. Sometimes you know you need a time out. You need to be by yourself, and sometimes you need to get out in the world, because that could be like facing your fears. So there's those choices that are going on in your head, but it may help you not to get too let your head get to you too much if you go back to the Hermit again and get your enlightenment, your spiritual enlightenment, because that will heal and help the ego mind from this back and forth kind of energy, and the indecisiveness and the indecision. So sometimes the Two of Swords can represent being in denial. So sometimes it's important to confront some kind of truth. And you know, if it lasts too long, it starts to turn into something too big, right? So it's important to face the fear, like back to the devil again. So I feel like all three cards are so connected, and they feel like a circle. And sometimes it could start at the devil, sometimes it can start at the Two of Swords, and sometimes it starts at the Hermit. Sometimes the Hermit is the end of the process. Sometimes you have to go through the process a few times before you really feel like now you're good, you know, now you're good. So I feel like it's kind of a cyclical healing process energy. But on this specific day, I feel like just as long as you tap into that Hermit, peaceful, tranquil energy, I think you're going to tap into something that leads you to those goals that you're desiring, whether it's, generally I'm sensing like a health goal, physical, mental, or health in relationships, or health in your self-worth in career and things like that. So it's kind of a cycle for a day like that. And tap into your intuition, and you can't go wrong. All right, and call upon the ascended masters and angels and guides and entities that you know will be there to protect you and help you through this process. And I hope you like that. Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust.